You know, when you make a game, you have to build hype for it. Whenever it be trailers, promotions, toys, books, you name it, everyone needs to know about your new upcoming game that's going to release on these consoles. Usually, those games receive fairly positive reviews. People praise the art, design, characters, story, everything that makes the game great. And sooner or later, your game might blow up, and you become one of the most popular developers in the world. But for every Mario or Zelda or Kirby game that releases, chances are there is going to be some bad apples. And when you get people way too excited for a product that's going to fail later down the line, everybody gets mad. Every time a bad game launches which is full of bugs and glitches, makes no sense, and introduces new concepts and characters that they throw right away once you find them interesting, everyone takes upon themselves and just tears right into it, acting like the company that developed it is saving themselves. And recently, the new FNAF game Security Breach has been receiving similar negative press, but not in the way you think. Hey gang, it's Seraphim, and with SB out for a month now, people are still mad at what Steelwool Studios did to FNAF. Everybody's complaining about how the game betrayed the franchise and everything in the game is a train wreck and blah blah blah. Look, the previous year was not a good time for FNAF fans. With all the drama and controversy surrounding the series, it seems like Freddy Fazbear is heading down a downward spiral. But how come? Well, my friends, let's find out. Oh, and one more thing, I'm sorry for not posting in a while. I've just been busy with the holidays. Now, everyone has been complaining about how the game deviates from the other entries in the franchise. What once started as a survival horror game where you're trapped in a tiny room with nothing to defend yourself, has become a shell of its former self. Now you're wandering in a giant mall with a big strong bear defending you from rogue animatronics while holding a device called the Fazwatch. Besides the new location, there are a lot of other problems as well, such as the AI, the saving system, lack of interaction, and even the lack of vanity in the game. Heck, even Steelwool themselves later admitted to this on the official subreddit for FNAF, mostly because they were, in fact, a small team of developers founded by ex-Pixar employees. They then announced a patch that will mostly fix all the bugs and glitches for the game, and, as a FNAF fan myself, I respect that. I get it that they knew there were going to be numerous problems with it, and that's fine, but that still didn't stop everyone from criticizing it so relentlessly. This got so bad that Phil Moore, the creator of Portrock's Adventure and the upcoming FNAF Plus, actually quit the fandom due to the direction it was going. He even made a Security Breach bingo about it, for crying out loud. Other people, like Martin Walls, the creator of the Walton Files, and Kane Carter, the creator of Pop Goes, also hated the game. But for other reasons, I'll get into another time. Unfortunately, it seemed like everyone was overreacting over this, because as soon as they made their post about it, angry fans seemed to attack them for no apparent reason, saying it wasn't constructive criticism. What makes it worse is that they got so far to compare to Sonic 06, Cyberpunk 2077, and Duke Nukem Forever, and fans still didn't care. Need to remind you, this was after Scott retired from the series after some jerk called him out for supporting anti-LGBTQ politicians. That meant FNAF was free to do whatever it wanted, even though it made some fans upset and confused. For more information, I highly recommend you watch my video on the subject. It gets pretty intense. And when Security Breach was released on December 16, 2021, it made people more upset and confused due to the technical difficulties the game was having. Combine that with the series being associated with NFTs, the controversial practice with Lumix and FNAF AR, and, as a bonus, Jonochrome, then it's safe to say that the series is having an existential crisis. Also, isn't it weird that Security Breach was released on the same day Spider-Man No Way Home was showing? What a weird coincidence. Anyways, with that being said, people are still playing the game, because it's still popular, of course. Every single YouTuber is making a video about it, just like back in 2015. But I still can't feel like something is still wrong with the game. Why do people even hate SB? I mean, don't get me wrong, the game is flawed in some areas. The models look off, the dialogue is repetitive at times, and the story is weird, I guess. Do people just hate it so badly? Well, no, not at all. Sometimes people hate it for stupid reasons. We all know the fact that people hate change. They don't like it when a famous property gets rebooted, things get retconned, or just in general. People want things the same way, not different. Though people complain about the tiniest change in a beloved franchise, the changes aren't even that bad. Instead, they enhance what makes it special in the first place. For example, 2002's Metroid Prime was announced to be a first-person action-adventure game in the style of Halo, instead of the usual Metroidvania style in previous games. Nintendo supported this change, as Shigeru Miyamoto had faith in Metro Studios after seeing their prototype for a first-person shooter engine. Many people were skeptical at first, as they thought Samus would become a generic shooter. Luckily, it managed to stay faithful to Metroid fans, believing that this was better than the other past games. Thus, Retro would continue to develop alongside Nintendo. When you look at Steel Wool's work, you can be amazed by how Freddy Fazbear's Mega Pizzaplex is very spacious, and it captures that feeling of 80s nostalgia. You can admire the golden statue from the place's entrance without thinking of any buff animatronics, enter the Glamrock's green rooms and look at all their stuff, and even wish you could play in the Fazzer Blast Arena in real life. That's my favorite. Oh my god! Honestly, I think a reason why people hate this is that most of the game is directed towards the environment and not much else. People think that the developers wanted to put their attention onto the models, while the coding would be done later. Sort of like a release now, fix later situation. All the people who played this point this out in their negative Steam reviews for the game. And while most of the points are valid, I think some of the time they look like trolls want you to review bomb a popular game. Speaking of which, when you go onto the Steam page for Security Breach, you'll find out that the 2,000 reviews for the game are mostly negative, citing a lot of those game-breaking bugs and glitches I mentioned earlier that ruined the whole experience for everyone. And it would have been fine if it was a cheap indie game that cost less than $6, but this game retailed for $40, which is a total ripoff, at least for the fans. Some of the reviews feel like they came from an angry fanboy in 4chan, like this. Worst game I ever bought. Makes me want to kill myself. Don't buy it. I spend $40 on this retarded garbage. Think that's worthless and petty? Well, wait until you see this review. I am too good at this game, and it was not challenging. Beat it in less than an hour. Oh yeah, don't forget this masterpiece. 5 friends of Freddy's. What were they even thinking? In all seriousness though, the bad reviews are harsh on the game, both talking about various issues wrong with it, and they are numerous, yet fair. However, all of them are mostly overshadowed by the positive reviews this game got. And if you thought those reviews were dry and inconvenient, these things are even worse. Almost all of them range from Roxy can run me over, to please breach me Monty, to even I want the Glamrock Freddy to slam cock me. I'm sorry. I mean, there's only a few critics who has common sense, and yet their reviews are hard to find in the sea of bastards. Like, really, think about it. On one hand, you got the angry critics who lambast literally everything to its gameplay and controls, condemning it in the process as well. But on the other hand, you have a swarm of horny fanboys who say it just came out, but also compare it to Undertale and Scribblenauts of all things. Like, come on guys. Are you okay? This just proves my point that people like to defend pieces of media just because someone made a bad review of it. And it's not just Steam too. On Twitter and Reddit, people complain about the same things, and the opposite as well. If you like Security Breach, people who hate the game will come after you. And if you hate Security Breach, people who love the game will come after you. Honestly, I don't think any of the people who wrote these reviews even played the game, and it's so annoying. It's basically like the Ghostbusters 2016 situation, but worse. Like, 90% of the reviews here are giving me a headache. Why can't people just be normal for once? So here we are, today. And everyone is still mad about Security Breach. Nowadays though, everyone's been blaming each other for the rocky launch. Steel Wool is being accused of not beta testing the game properly, others are blaming White Knight fans for defending it, and some don't know who to choose. So, whose fault is it? The answer is simple. All of them. Okay, before you go screaming at me and attempting to dox me, let me explain. See, in the reviews for FNAF Security Breach, I noticed a lot of people mention that the fans desperately rushed Steel Wool to finish the game, just so they can quench their FNAF content drought. Honestly, when hearing that, you can hardly believe anything. So you're telling me that the fans that defended Security Breach by non-sectors are the same people that begged Steel Wool to finish the game? I mean, I got nothing to say. I'm shocked, really. Nevertheless, this does make a lot of sense. With the delays of the game gone for 2.5 years, I guess fans were just impatient and wanted to see it done quickly. I mean, with Security Breach, we were also waiting for Hello Neighbor 2, Bendy and the Dark Revival, Cuphead the Delicious Last Course, and Deltarune. Personally, I don't think anyone has heard Miyamoto's famous quote, "A delayed game is eventually good, but a rushed game is forever bad." I feel like that means something now than ever. Think about it this way. Remember Mighty Number 9? That's right. Nobody does. It was announced at PAX 2013 by the father of Mega Man, Keiji Inafune, who had left Capcom due to declining sales of Japan-developed games. Mighty Number 9 was supposed to be a spiritual successor to Mega Man, and fans were excited about it, with the game getting 4 million on its Kickstarter, making it the most successful game on the site, before Bloodstained and Shenmue 3. People were expecting great things for Inafune, but as time went on, things went bad to worse. The 4 million turned to 2.5 million due to fees. In 2014, Concept, Inafune's company, started to announce additional rounds of funding for a TV show, potential DLC, Japanese and English voice acting, and even a spin-off game, all to skip the boring business talk and say the game flopped on day one. Bugs, glitches, a very poorly made trailer that promises to make bad guys
cry like an anime fan on prom night,
and several controversies made the game more infamous than famous. And, bugs, glitches, development problems, controversies, and a rocky launch? Why does that sound so familiar? Anyways, going back to FNAF. With Scott gone, you can tell Seawolf suffered from this. Like, they don't know how to inject lore into the series, and the old-fashioned design of the animatronics was replaced with new tech stuff. But then again, that's just the process of evolving your franchise. People know they're gonna get sick of the same formula, so the developers have to spice things up. The problem with that, though, that it's trying to be like Amnesia or Outlast, but in the process, it just becomes a standard free roam game. I mean, I would have suggested the mall be a liminal space, but hey, who am I to judge? Look, I knew that Scott and Stewart was trying to take the series to greater heights, but this decision rubs people the wrong way. And if people generally don't give a fuck about this game and do not criticize it, or the fanboys are just defensive because this game has emotional ties to their childhood, then you've lost on all accounts. Besides, not everything is perfect. Why do people even care in the first place? I've seen my fair share of broken games, but this is not how you treat a game like this. I agree with your opinion, and that's fine. Everyone thinks differently, but in the end, who cares? You don't ratio, you don't say stupid things like get mad, or you're just bad at this game, and you definitely don't complain on Twitter.com saying insert very mad thing here. Again, there are some valid critics out there who say reasonable things, even the ones who think the game is great. I think the ones out there deserve a spotlight. But none of that means shit, and instead, we get stupid zoomer humor and jealous fans. And it's going to keep on going until the hype has died down, which might be never, because this game is super damn long. Plus, with a game like FNAF, people are going to turn out more content than ever, because they need, and I mean need, to get on the bandwagon somehow. People need to learn how to calm down. Your opinion matters, and don't think that they're trying to attack you because you gave SB a negative review. The controversy has already caused a lot of debates, fights, and ridiculous nonsense. Steve will fix the game in time, but for now, just watch Markiplier and Doc play the game instead of attacking them. I hope people learn from this and will continue to respect other games, good or bad. FNAF is already reeling in new frames with Security Breach with fan art and animations, so we should just let it be. So don't attack the team just because it's not the way you want it to be. Also, one more thing. To all the trolls out there who are posting quit having fun memes and saying, if you don't like this, make your own, you should get a life. Or else William After is going to attack you. Welp, I think that covers everything wrong with Security Breach and its controversy. I don't think I'm ever going to touch Twitter again, at least for now. However, if you like what you see, then please leave a big fat thumbs up, that would be great. Be sure to subscribe if you're brand new, leave a comment down below, and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Alright, I'll see you later when the next big FNAF game comes. Bye! Hey everyone. Future Me here. I just want to apologize again for this video. Not because it was late or anything, but because of my stupid old mic that I insisted on using. This thing went from not picking up my voice to having too much feedback in the recording. I tried to fix it in post, but the only thing I could do was match the audio to a certain level. I got a new mic recently, if you couldn't tell, so hopefully my voice doesn't sound too bad in the future. Anyways guys, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you soon.